clerk, both of them are charged with murder. The idea is everyone involved in a felony should be held accountable for the consequences. But some states interpret felony murder more broadly. In rare cases, if the clerk kills one of the robbers, the other robber is charged with murder. Take the case of Justin Doyle in Illinois. In 2008, Doyle, 15 and unarmed, set out to rob a home with 3 other boys. They thought it was empty. A person staying there shot and killed one teen, Travis Castle. The other 3 were charged with Castle's murder. Faced with a possible 60-year sentence, Doyle, who got a tattoo to memorialize Castle, pled guilty to home invasion and involuntary manslaughter and was likely to get out of prison in 15 years. Stephen Drizzen got Doyle's sentence commuted by the Illinois governor.
Most people are offended by the notion that teenagers who want to commit a burglary can be charged with felony murder or first-degree murder. The punishment is just much too harsh for the criminal culpability.
I want to ask you about why this is an appropriate tool to use. If you are out to commit a crime, whatever it may be, you should pay for whatever consequences arise.
The answer to that argument is you punish the burglar with the higher range of sentences for the burglary. You don't punish someone for crimes they either intended or committed.
Back in Alabama, even though Lakeith Smith was 15 at the time of the shootings, he was tried in adult court. Brontina Smith is Lakeith's mother.
Your son was offered a deal.
He was.
Plea deal. He did not take it.
Did not.
Why not?
That was my son's thing. He was like, I didn't kill anybody. Like, why am I admitting to a murder that I know I didn't commit? The cop killed him.
That cop was cleared of wrongdoing. Lakeith Smith's trial took place in 2018 in rural Elmore County, north of Montgomery. An all-white jury found him guilty of burglary, theft, and murder.
You just don't get it, do you?
And the judge, annoyed at what he claimed was Smith's disrespectful demeanor, sentenced him to 65 years in prison.
What went through your head when you heard 65 years?
It was malice. It's like, if you don't do what they want you to do, I'm going to show you.
He did commit a crime.
He did. And he should have got the proper time for the crime that he committed. The burglary and the stolen property. So 65 years over a young guy, 15, who didn't kill no one. Didn't kill no one and didn't shoot at no one. Alabama. Yeah.
What do you say to critics of this? They say we shouldn't be bringing this charge in situations like that. What do you say?
I understand people who may not understand the law or may want the law to be different. You know, if the Supreme Court says it's got to be this way, then I will gladly apply the law that way.
Back in Illinois, an investigation in 2016 by the Chicago Reader found 10 cases over the previous 5 years of killings by law enforcement that led to felony murder charges. One case was that of Tevin Lewis.
Pull that over here so you can see.
Femi Soyode was Tevin Lewis's attorney. In 2012, when Lewis was 19, he and Marquise Sampson, his close friend since childhood, robbed a sandwich shop on Chicago's South Side.
Mr. Sampson came out of King Hero and literally ran across the street. And coincidentally, an officer just happened to see him running across the street holding his waistband. And officer just, boom, started chasing him all throughout these neighborhoods right over here. Mr. Lewis went the opposite way, this way, southbound.
The officer shot and killed Sampson. He stated later that Sampson had a gun.
I was down the street, yeah. I heard the gunshot, so I was down the street.
Even though Lewis was down the street, he was charged with murdering his friend. He spoke to us from prison.
Yeah, it was shocking. It was crushing, like, you know what I'm saying? Especially the fact of playing in that he was a close friend of mine. He was my brother.
Soyode says he sees felony murder used often in cases when it's one of the felons who's committed a killing.
My thoughts on felony murder is the idea behind it, I'm actually not opposed to.
But in a case like Lewis's, Soyote feels the punishment doesn't fit the crime.
Causes people to plead guilty to crimes that they didn't commit, to avoid extremely harsh sentences. I think it's a big part of mass incarceration.